Hi guys, Mons here. On this episode of Bolly Mons, we're looking at the Champions League round of 16 second leg. So we're going to look at the Tuesday fixtures first of all. Just before I get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel so far, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. So let me just get started here. So obviously the fixtures goes as follow. There's Sporting Lisbon versus Bodo Glimt. In that one, Bodo Glimt are 3-0 up already. For me, I think they're in full control of the tie so far. Obviously they're 3-0 up. I expect them to go through, rightfully so, because they deserve the 3-0 win when they were away, when they were in Norway. Um, for me, Sporting Lisbon, they weren't great. I was very, very disappointed in Sporting Lisbon last week, in the first leg, because they literally could not score against Bodo Glimt. For me, I think they'll be very, very disappointed, not even coming out of there with a goal or two. Bodo Glimt kept a clean sheet, 1-3-0, and they're going away now to Portugal. I can see Sporting Lisbon score multiple goals, but I can also see Bodo Glimt scoring goals as well. So, like, Sporting Lisbon are going to have to win by 3 or more goals to even get a chance to get to extra time. I just don't see that happening this tie, and I think Bodo Glimt are going to go through, and I think they're rightfully deserved, in my opinion. Arsenal versus Leverkusen. Arsenal were absolutely blessed, in my opinion, to get a draw away in Germany. They were so poor. The game for me, when I saw bits and parts of it, I thought Saka was very, very poor. There's a conversation to be had about Saka, in my opinion. He's been very, very poor since he came back from his hamstring injury. I think that's due to the fact that Arteta's overplayed him for the last couple of years, and he's played through so many injuries as well. That's not great look, especially when you did that for so many years, being so young. And I think Saka is not going to be the same player like he was when he first broke through, in my opinion. I can see obviously Arsenal seeing this out at home, but can Leverkusen do the unthinkable? Can they beat Arsenal or even take it to extra time or penalties and go through that way? I'd love to see it happen, but honestly speaking, I just don't see it happening, in my opinion. Chelsea versus PSG. Chelsea losing 5-2 away at PSG in France last week was an absolute disaster. I picked them to actually go through. I actually picked them to get something out of the game last week in the first leg. I was so disappointed because I felt they set up really well. They actually played really well, but the last 20 minutes, they lost their complete composure. And that's what you get from an inconsistent young team that are very, very inexperienced, in my opinion. A 2-2 or 3-2 would have been a fantastic result coming away from France. But losing their head in the last 20-25 minutes, for me, is an absolute shambles. I can see them scoring, but I just don't know if they have enough to get through to beat PSG. They need 3 or more goals to get through. They're in similar predicament to Sporting Lisbon and Bodo Glimt. I just don't see PSG losing by 3 or more goals, in my opinion. And also, what I would say about Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer has been getting away with murder, in my opinion, in terms of his play, in terms of his productivity in the last, I say, 12 to 18 months. For me, I think there was a stage, one stage there, I think, maybe a year and a half ago, he's only scoring goals from penalties. I think Cole Palmer, for me, when he's at his best, is one of the best players in the Premier League. But for me, in the last 18 months, 12 to 18 months, he's been very, very poor. Obviously, injuries have had a lot to do with that. However, for me, Cole Palmer needs to do a lot better. He's literally been ghosting big games in the last 12 months, and that's totally unacceptable because that's who you kind of look to for attacking and progress in that Chelsea team, and he hasn't been very, very good, in my opinion. And obviously, like I said, I see PSG going through in this one. I picked Chelsea originally, but 5-2 deficit is going to be very, very hard to overturn. I just don't see them winning by 3 or more goals, especially with PSG not scoring it either. Manchester City versus Madrid. Manchester City were very poor, very, very poor away in Madrid last week. They're similar to Sporting Lisbon. I couldn't believe Man City went to Madrid and not getting a goal. For me, that's not acceptable, especially the amount of money and the amount of attacking players they have in that Manchester City team and the quality they have. For me, they're not taking full advantage of it. Is that down to coaches? Is that down to Pep? Is that down to the players? I also think Haaland had a very, very good start to the season, and halfway through the year, he's been an absolute shambles. I think he's playing through injuries. I honestly think Haaland is playing through injuries because this is not the Haaland we know. The Haaland we know is very, very explosive. And last maybe 6 to 7 weeks, he hasn't been as explosive. So even when he's running, he doesn't look as quick, and he's not bullying defenders like he used to. So for me, I just don't see them winning by 3 or more goals without Madrid scoring as well. I think Madrid is going to go there, sit back, defend, and then hit them on the counter attack. You have Vinicius, obviously, and you have Valverde. Valverde has been playing some stuff lately. Every single game, he either score or assist. I think at the moment he's probably one of the best midfielders in the world. And then you look at I heard the report that Mbappe could be back for the second leg. If I was them, I wouldn't even put him in the matchday squad. I love Mbappe, but don't ruin don't ruin the rhythm of the team. The team has been playing really, really well. I think if you want to ease him back in, you have to ease him back in the league game at the weekend, in my opinion. So don't put Mbappe in the match squad, or if he is in the match squad, don't bring him on, because I think for these type of games, I know it's going to be good at counter attack, but you're better off with Vinicius and obviously Valverde being leaders of that team instead of Mbappe, in my opinion. That's pretty much it. That's it for the Tuesday fixtures of the Champions League. If you made it to the end of my video, please make sure you unsubscribe. Thank you very much. Peace out.